Alright, welcome back to the Cymax channel. We're going to talk about some new developments in the MCP server and a skill for Claude Code for the litdb project. This is a literature and document database, and it started out as a command line interface. Yesterday I talked about a Streamlit app, and today I want to revisit the integration with Claude Desktop and, as you'll see, a better litdb for enabling skills with Claude Code. So the point of this development is to allow me to use natural language prompts in tools like Claude Desktop, which supports MCP servers, or Claude Code that supports skills. So if we look at litdb install -- help, this will tell me that I can use litdb install to either install the Claude skill or the MCP server, and this automatically puts the files that it needs in the right spot. I've already done that, so I'm not going to do it now. I guess it doesn't hurt actually. Litdb, I'll show you what happens. This is going to use the default litdb that is available wherever you have it set up. And so here it tells me if I want to use this one that has, it's a fairly large database, so I'll say yes, and that will install in the desktop config JSON where it needs to be. And then similarly, if I install the skill, then this will copy a skill.md file to the right place in .claude skills litdb and so forth, and then that will give us the things that we want. So what does that give me? Well, let's start here. Let me just copy these, and then we'll open up, I have my Claude Desktop open here, and I'll start by asking what it knows how to do. This is one of the interesting features of these kinds of models, is that this is now looking at here under litdb. There are all of these tools for generating COA, getting bibtex, citations, similar searches, etc. And so here it gives me a couple of these ideas. So maybe we'll say find papers on yeast media optimization. This is something that's been on my mind. And so I've done lots of literature searches over the past year, and they're all in my database that has close to 83,000 papers in it. I'll note here the MCP server is for read only. I don't enable any of the features to add things from Claude Desktop at this point, mostly because it's you never know what kinds of things are going to happen. But here we're running a vector search, a full text search, and it finds some relevant papers on media optimization, machine learning modeling, some things here. Let's say make a citation for each of those papers. So this should give me something like a lightly formatted citation that you could, say, copy and paste into a report or something like that. So it's going through each one. And now it's just going to print those. So those are things you might use. These are clickable links. And now make bibtex for each one. If you were using Overleaf, you might want this, where you could just copy these directly into the bib file or something like that. Sometimes ask for permission the first time you use these. And while that's running, I'm going to copy this last one. let's see, you can expand these and see what it's doing. Here it gives you the response. Doesn't usually take this long, but some days are faster than others. This last prompt I'll check out. I'm not going to cover all of the features. Is the NSF collaborators and other affiliates. This is a form that you have to create in Excel that has to have all of your co-authors from the last 4 years, their names, their institutional affiliations, and the last time you published with them. It's pretty tedious to create that and keep it up to date if you collaborate a lot. And so I use OpenAlex to get all of my papers, find the papers from the last 4 years, get all of the authors, and create this file. And as soon as the BibTeX's done, I'll show you what it does. All right, so now it's just giving me the BibTeX entries. And so again, you might copy this. If you had some other preferred, format, it wouldn't be too terrible to convert it to RIS, so you could export it to some other thing. And here I'll go ahead and drag up this downloads file. This is going to generate the NSF COA. It's calling that tool. You can see it just got created here. And if I click on it, then you see there is an Excel file. It isn't 100% perfect, but these are alphabetized. You can see there's a couple duplicates that are not easy to figure out that we have to eliminate. There are also, it doesn't remove people from Carnegie Mellon. Usually you eliminate those because it's obvious the people from your institution are a conflict of interest. But you can see there's a lot of these, and because they're organized alphabetically, it's not difficult to find the duplicates. So here it does a pretty good job. Overall, some of the institutions are a little bit strange. This is difficult for OpenAlex to keep correct, and so sometimes it has a hard time with those. Okay, so that's the integration with Claude Desktop. And we also can get the integration with Claude Code. So over here, let me drag this over. Maybe we'll make this a little bit bigger. I can see again here, what are your litdb skills? And this will review, might even ask me if it should allow me to use it. But it will review the skills.md file that got installed, and we can do, let's see, so it's asking for this, so let's go ahead and proceed. And when this gets done, so here it gives me a couple of things that it can do, vector search, get citations. We can do the same kind of thing in Claude Code. And this also will ask if I want to use bash command. So unlike the MCP server, which we probably can make work here too, here it's actually calling shell commands. So it's using the CLI for me. That works because we're in a terminal. Okay, so it finds most relevant, a couple of things. Write a citation for each of those to references. Let's just pick Markdown. And this is nice because it's easy to make file artifacts. So it's not there yet. And I'll use this one as well. So it's going through, it's running all of these, and still not there. Now it's writing. All right, go ahead and say yes. All right, so it says it should exist now, and there it is. If I look at it, we have a file artifact that you could email to someone, copy and paste somewhere, etc. And we'll go ahead and make the COA form again. This should make the same file. And this is just a different way to interact with the litdb database application. So it's kind of interesting now we have, this core package of litdb. You can work with it through the command line. That's how I first started with it. You can use it through the Streamlit app if you prefer that kind of app. With the MCP server, you can use it through Claude Desktop or any other app that supports MCP using natural language. And here we use it via Claude Code. That is just a variation in my mind of what happens in the app. It's just this one runs in a terminal, and it makes it a little easier to do things locally, to create local artifacts than it is through the desktop. But we are able to interact with it in a variety of ways. So if you have the desktop open and you want to be, asking some questions as part of something else, you can integrate it there. If you're working on a project in the terminal, you can integrate it there. There is an Emacs integration as well. I don't use it too often other than to update the filters. I like to use that interface. And so we have lots of different ways now to interact with this software package that is the literature database. All right, so it says that it has saved it here. Let's check it out. There is, in fact, one, so let's just say open it. And this is just the same thing that I showed you before. You can do this for anybody you have an org ID for. So you can use it for your collaborators, you can use it for yourself, you can use it for all kinds of other things. We might say, let's do one more. Use the find reviewers feature to suggest collaborators to work on yeast media optimization. It's kind of subtle if you want a reviewer or collaborator, but the gist here is you give it a prompt and it added yeast media optimization, fermentation. It finds the nearest papers, and then it summarizes the authors, and then this should print a table where it ranks the authors by their H-index, which, like I've said before, is not a perfect metric. It doesn't mean they're a great collaborator or anything. It just sort of ranks them in order of seniority and experience, roughly. Okay, so this does, this is one thing I don't really love too much about the Claude Code. I wish it would pipe through something like less so you didn't have to scroll up. But we have some senior people, people from all around the world, mid-career. Well, that's interesting. It even kind of separates them. Rising experts, geographical distribution. So it does a lot of interesting things in kind of helping you navigate it. So that is all that I had in mind for today's video, just to illustrate the growing number of ways to interact with a litdb that kind of covers various ways that you might be interested in using it from Claude Desktop, using it from Claude Code, or the command line, or etc. So you should be able to get all of this from the latest pip install litdb, and you can find the repo in the video description. So thanks for listening, and